Welcome to Thursday Night Knives. I'm Bob DeMarco. Coming up, we're going to check out 3 really sweet Apoch survival knives that I got. Let's see. I also got a really great TKL knife from Gentleman Junkie Jammin'. And then Gentleman Junkie knife giveaway tonight. That's tonight, and we're going to be giving away this awesome off-grid knives EDC fixed blade called the Sidekick. I'm loving mine. I kept the one in Coyote. And we're giving away the all black one. Kind of wish I kept this one, but it's going to one of you lucky guys. And then we're giving away the Bolt tactical pen. Now this one I have not unboxed. It's all black, but this is the Bolt tactical pen right here. Very nice pen. This is what I've been writing all my show notes with lately. I love this pen. It's got a Parker Jotter style ink cartridge. I love the Parker Jotter. I'm a huge fan of that knife. That's what I use at work. Yes, I'm very particular with my writing instruments. And then, okay. And then this comes out the other side. It's a glass breaker. So one lucky Gentleman Junkie tonight will be getting this package here. And I can't wait to get it out to you because it's been sitting on my desk, burning a hole in my pocket, as they say. And can't wait to get that out to you. Well, you already got a glimpse of it. Let's show off this. This is a cool one to get it started because a couple of weeks ago, someone mentioned the Prather War Bowie. I said it once, and now I'm going back to my normal War Bowie. Marco, good to have you here, sir. First, as usual, evening, Bob, Jim, and Junkies. Nice to see you, sir. So I thought I'd pull this out. I love this thing. I wish that swedge was sharp. It's a big, thick swedge, but how cool would this be if that were double-edged? It'd be even cooler. Have a nice day. Good to have you here, sir. Good evening, Junkalos. Currently at Dallas-Fort Worth Airport, waiting for a flight to the James Black Bowie Heritage Festival. Such jealousy you are bringing up in me. Let me silence my phone here. Sorry about that. Keep hearing that. Weather has canceled several of my flights, so I might miss this episode. Well, thanks for checking in. I really hope you have safe travels, and I hope you have an awesome time at the James Black Bowie Festival. That just sounds too awesome. Carino1, nice to have you here, sir. Good evening, Bob, Jim, and fellow junkies. Not sure of any coming trends that aren't already reality. It does seem that I'm seeing more of the premium folding utility knives at work lately. Oh, that's cool. Excuse me. So people coming in with basically glorified box cutters, or like the high-end box cutters. I can respect that for sure. Ground Fog, nice to see you here, sir. Good to have you with us. Have a Knife Day says, I see the industry feverishly developing a new super steel that will replace MagnaCut, with which they will remake all their old designs at an elevated price. MagnaCut will become crew wear. That's have a nice day. That's a pretty good prediction. I just had Jeremiah of PVK on, and I asked him this question, and he gave me an answer that kind of was something I was thinking. I'll reveal that shortly. James Hart says, at one time, 420HC was considered a super steel. So there is always something newer and better coming out. Yeah, that is true. And actually, my 420HC bucks, I know they're not super duper. I know you can't hammer them through a nail, but I do love them indeed. As I love Peterbilt Knife Guy's nail tests. I love those videos. And I just think he's got such a cool channel. Have a Knife Day says Bowie knife, long glittering steel. Oh, okay. It's a song. And Bowie knife, long glittering steel. That's all I can come up with, but I want to hear what you have in mind. OG Blade Reviews. Nice to have you here, Dave. Evening, Bob, Jim, and Junkies. Just landed on the way home from South Kakalaki vacay. No time to chime in, but best to all and stay sharp. Thank you, Dave. I really appreciate your chiming in, man. That's awesome. It's always great to hear from my good friend, Dave, and glad to hear you landed safely back from South Carolina. So beautiful down there. Doug Bowl, nice to have you here, Doug. I pulled this out, Doug. I was just thinking of you, and I was like, I got to get out my Eck dagger. This is the Eck Commando dagger. I believe it's the 44 model number 44. And Doug just gave this to me out of the goodness of his heart. It wasn't what he wanted. He bought it. Wasn't what he EC44. Wasn't what he was expecting, and so he gave it to me, and I've always wanted one of these. So I really appreciate your generosity, Doug, and it's very nice to have you here, sir. He says, hi, Bob, Jim, and all of you knife junkies. So he's talking to you guys. Sword XXXY, good to have you here from down under. G'day, Bob, Jim, and junkies. G'day to you, sir. I hope it's going well for you down there in the beautiful land. I would love to go to Australia. My sister was just here visiting, and I realized this weekend that by far I am the least traveled of my brother, sister, and parents. My brother kind of begrudgingly for work has been everywhere. My sister has gone to great lengths to go everywhere. And my parents have gone everywhere. And I've gone to some places, but my sister was talking about Australia, and she took a trip down there a couple of years ago, and she loved it. Loved the people, loved the land, loved everything about it. So made me pine for that place. Split and Slices, good to have you here, Byron. Howdy, Bob, Jim, Knifeaholics. Thursday night knives at Have a Knife Day. Have a great late time at the Bowie Festival. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to see. I mean, I know there are going to be some cool videos and definitely a few great knives coming from it. Luis Rodriguez, nice to have you here, Luis. Hawkbills, end of cleaver and square knives, please. Hey, Luis, I am 100% in your boat. 100%. Sometimes I like the way they look. There are a few cleavery knives that I like the look of, but I just cannot get with a knife that doesn't have a point, that doesn't have a literal point. I just like the thrust capability. And yeah, I'm with you on that, Lewis. So yeah, Hawkbill would be a nice one. Benedict Odie, nice to have you here, Ben. Glad it's Thursday. Howdy all. Well, howdy to you, man. It's good to have you here. I'm glad you liked that video. He is the Terzuola merch czar. Here's my Terzuola coin that he sent me. Awesome coin. And he commented on the video I did of the Pacifica, such a beautiful knife from Fox Knives and Terzuola design. That's when Bob Terzuola is not actually hand making the knife. It's a Terzuola design knife. Doug Bull says, Bob just got home an hour ago. We'll get that package off to you tomorrow. Oh, man alive. Thank you, man. Another sweet package coming my way, and I have a good idea of what it is. I mean, I know what it is in a categorical sense, but I don't know exactly what it looks like. So I can't wait. I'll come home. Is there a package for me today? Not today. How about today? Is there a package for? Yeah, there it is over on the table. That'll be me. Mike Hauser, nice to have you here. Howdy all from Nebraska, beautiful state of Nebraska, home state of child actor Bob DeMarco, who portrayed the youth of Bond 001. Is that true? Is there? No. I'm either being gullible or I'm not reading that right. I cannot believe there's a Bob DeMarco child actor. So I want to know. Let me know. Am I being dense? Probably. It's been a long day. I just got home from work. Dead Viking Trolls. Nice to have you here, Mr. Trolls. I think we might now just be coming out with the thin and slicey meta that Bug Out made. Ooh, yeah. I think we might just now. Okay. Thin and thank you, Jim. I think we might just now be coming out of the thin and slicey meta that Bug Out made. Yeah, I thin and slicey, there's always a place for thin and slicey, and there always has been. Look at your kitchen knives. But not every pocket knife has to be that way. Sometimes you can have something chunky, and that you can pry with, but still slice and cut with. Ira Hayes, nice to have you here, sir. Happy Thursday night knives. Happy Thursday night knives to you, Ira. Pleasure having you with us. Jammin' Parker, evening, everyone. Evening, Jammin'. I'm going to show off this awesome knife you gave me last week. Since I wasn't here last week, sorry about that. My sister actually came into town last week, right? She was due to be in at 10. It was a little bit later than that, but I wanted to be here for her because I haven't seen her in a while. I was going to show off this awesome knife that Jammin' gave me then, but I'll show it to you tonight. Adrian Fighter 35, a brand new Gentleman Junkie. Thank you, sir. You are in the running tonight for this awesome off-grid knives Sidekick. Such a great knife. This thing is really a good knife. Actually, last night I was sharpening a bunch of pencils with it, and that's one of my tests, I got to say, for something thin and slicey, is how it sharpens, and it did a great job sharpening pencils. Paul Mills, nice to have you here, Paul Mills. He says, Bob DeMarco. Paul Mills, good to have you here, man. Thomas McDonald, nice to have you here with us, Thomas. You got a nice looking family there. More button-operated liner frame locks like Golden Design Works, Caliber, and Subcaliber. So I'm not familiar with those two knives, but I am familiar with the form you're talking about, the actual button liner lock you're talking about. And I think you're probably onto something. It kind of combines two things that everyone loves. Todd Carr, nice to have you here, Todd. Evening, everyone. Todd, did you get your package from Kyle? I hope so. Hero Sticks, nice to have you here, Hero. Hero has loaned me a lot of cool knives in the past, exposed me to some great makers. Craig Vincent, evening, Bob, Jim, and Junkantors. Why am I not reading that right? Craig, it's nice to have you here, man. Junkantors. Where's the accent? I don't know. Jacob Green, nice to have you here, Jacob. Good evening, fellow junkies. Good evening to you, sir. I went fishing today, lucky man, and caught a 12-inch chonker of a perch. How nice. Used my Bushmate 2.0 to clean it. Really a fan of carbon steel knives for fishing now. Just needs more care. So do you find that carbon steel, if it's nice and thin, is more flexible than stainless? Curious. Bobby Rains, evening, everyone. Good to have you here, Bobby. Oh my goodness, he put up his on Instagram today. He put up his ode to the Bagwell Hell's Bells with the beautiful stag handle. Oh my God, that thing is beautiful and good moves, man. I like your back cut and your different Bowie moves in that video. That was awesome. Michael Upchurch, nice to have you here, Michael. Good evening, Knife Gents. Good evening to you. I'm looking at you, Michael, with that big gray beard, and I'm missing mine. It's funny, you shave your beard, you look younger, but it also reveals all the stuff that you forgot about your face. An American Father, nice to have you here, American Father. Good evening, Fiends. I'm not fiending. Yes, I am. James Hart. Yes, it's a song by Frankie Lane called Bowie Knife. Oh, cool. Okay, cool. I'm going to have to look that up. I know there's a song, there's like an older country song called Randall Knife, which is kind of cool. Will B. Nice to have you here, Will. Evening, Jim, Bob, and Junkies. Good to have you here, Will. And Will, you stand to win as well. Doug Bolt, Bob, who makes that Bowie you just showed? Impressed. This is the Tops made Prather War Bowie. I'll put it under here again. This is a Tops knife, and this has come in and out of production, I believe, a few times. And I think this is something you can find these days. Someone correct me if I'm mistaken. You got black micarta with the red liners. I'm sorry, not black, but kind of a dark green, but it blackens up nicely. 1095 as usual with that traction coating. And then this is a Kydex sheath that I made for it, and definitely one of my best sheaths ever. I've made some real doozies like this one, and then I've made some real bombs in the past. But yeah, that is a Prather War Bowie by the old Tops. Come on now. Let me stack these. I don't want everything to fall over here. Okay, there we go. Sword XXXY says, you should come down and check out the Aussie knife makers. I would love to come down and check out the Aussie knife makers, meet you and a couple of others down there in Australia who watch the show, and just see the beautiful land. Man, I want to see the land. And the people, I worked with some Australians like 20 years ago at this point, and they were some of the most good-humored, robust, I don't know, like I felt like a cross between Americans and Brits. And I'm not just saying that because of the accent and because of the heritage, but they just kind of had similar characters to both, I thought. Todd Carr says, would love to visit Japan and all the traditional knife makers they have in every sharp bushcraft to kitchen to swords to carpentry. Yeah, that would be cool. Murray Carter, he was the first Western town blacksmith, knifesmith, or bladesmith, I guess I should say, in the town that he lived in for a few years, and learned all about those traditions. And what a cool and amazing knife tradition they have there. Excuse me. Hero Stick says, one trend I don't see changing is more knife enthusiasts and collectors becoming designers. Another I expect is successful makers and designers of folders entering into the fixed market. That's funny you should say that, because usually it's the reverse. A and B, I do see the trend. Well, maybe not. Your first one, that you don't see knife enthusiasts and collectors becoming designers. Yeah, but they might have to shift with all the tariffs away from Chinese manufactured knives and try and make them here at more limited numbers. Angry Tom's hat next door. Good to have you here, Angry Tom. Hello, Bob and Junkies from the upper left corner. So you're in the beautiful Pacific Northwest, I am assuming. Gorgeous out there. Michael Upchurch says, does anyone make an EDC pocket Bowie fixie? Well, yes. Auxiliary Manufacturing does. And they actually even call it the pocket Bowie. And then they have an XL version of it too. That's a 4-incher that's more in the waistband. But yeah, they do. They do. And you can get the Nova 1, which is the EDC fixed blade Bowie that I created, that I designed, made with, it's a custom make by Hogtooth Knives. You can get those too. Craig Vincent, A2 Brute, love that Eck Bob. A busy knife week for me. Got a carbon Garberg, the Seal Pup Elite. That's cool. The Cold Steel Sprint Survival Spearhead knife. Oh, Spirit Survival Spearhead knife. That's an old one, right? Like that's new old stock, right? And an SE Expat Darien Machete coming. Very nice, man. Yeah, the Garberg is a beloved knife too. Michael Upchurch says, Todd Carr, Cold Steel Mini Tack Bowie, only 3-finger knife though. Yeah, that's true, but it's got a sub hilt. It's very easy to hold on to. Jerry C says, Bob and all junkies really enjoyed the Emerson collection. Great stuff, brother. Thank you, Jerry. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm pretty proud of that collection though. It's down by 2 clip points. Really wish those weren't stolen from me, but they were, and I have to get over it. None for now. Nice to have you here, None for now. Wasn't Ira Hayes one of the guys who raised the flag on Iwo Jima? I don't know. Good question, though. Are you a Marine? Jacob Green says, I find carbon steel knives take less damage from cutting through fish bones. Okay, because maybe it's because they're a little bit tougher. Or a lot bit tougher because it's carbon steel. I'm going to put this here. If it affects the audio, I'll put it back, I guess. Mike Hauser says, not popular, but EDC firearm fans loaded up there and moved to tactical knives. Eye candy of all new folders getting old. Eye candy of all new folders getting old. Good steel. Good enough now. Combat, Bowies, bush, and slip joints forever. Interesting. Not popular, but EDC firearm fans loaded up there and moved to tactical knives. Okay, I think what you're saying is maybe not so much of these anymore. This, by the way, is an Eck folder. So this is made by Elishewitz, or no, this is made in by a Chinese company, but it is designed by Alan Elishewitz and Les George to emulate the Eck. But I think what you are saying is that there's going to be fewer of these. This has been kind of all the rage for the last 10 years, and we're going to go back to something a little more basic, like fixed blade knives and slip joints. And I'm with you. I love both. I love all. That's why I go by Junkie. None for Now says, hi, Bob. First time here. Well, welcome, man. It's good to have you here. And then he said something else and I missed it. Sorry. Boxer Joe 13. Good to have you here, Boxer Joe. Bob, looking good. Being 50 and losing weight is tougher than any knife steal. Yeah. I'm 53 and trying to lose weight. And man, I swear 53 is the age. I hit it like a brick wall. Yeah, I went at it hard over Christmas time with the food and drink, and I've been paying for it ever since. I'm actually becoming good at burpees. That's my latest thing. I want to not hate burpees, so I've been doing them, and I'm hoping maybe that does it. So feeling stronger, but also feeling fatter. Have a Knife Day says, I want to go to New Zealand and visit the Svord factory. Now I own 2 of their knives. Yeah, they are cool. I like the Von Temsky. We were talking about slip joints. I'm going to show you this while I say hello to Cat Scratch. Hello to you. Oh, my Luna cat. Luna, that's my cat, obviously. She's a little hunter killer, and she's my baby. And I am hers. In the morning, she's up with me at 5 while I'm doing said burpees, and she's the best. She even comes out and greets me when I get home from work. It's awesome. She's like a little dog. Angry Tom's Hat Next Door says, I should have got that Nova 2 when it was available. It will become available after Blade Show. You'll be able to order those from Hogtooth Knives. This here, this is the 97 Titty 97. Great jackknife. I only wish it had a stouter spring. It's got a really weak spring to it, but it's big, it's gorgeous. And we went out for dinner last night, and I just knew I was going to get pork chops because I knew where we were going, and they're so delicious there. And so I brought this, and look at that awesome meat patina. This was shiny silver when I left, and look at that. It's kind of hard to see in this light, actually, but the whole tip is darkened. Turned out really nicely. I didn't do it for that. I didn't think it was going to patina that quickly just from one dish of hot meat, but it sure did. And I'm really excited about that. Bob, get your testosterone levels checked. Yeah, I've thought about that. Yep. Burpees, nice. The best exercise to do are the ones that you hate. Yeah, that's right. I like the Navy SEAL ones where you bring your knees up and you get 3 pumps. I will get my testosterone levels checked. And actually, I've thought about maybe I go on TRT, testosterone replacement therapy. But I'm like, where does that end? Like, do you have to do that for the rest of your freaking life? I don't know if I want to do that. But I wouldn't mind losing the gut. They also say cortisol is a big part of it, but I don't feel that stressed, The Grinch, nice to have you here, Grinch. I'm carrying a Hawk fixed blade from Very Good Knife Company. They make such cool knives. Handmade by Jacob. Has anybody heard of them? Yes, we've probably all heard of them. I've seen the clip point is beautiful. I'm not sure what that one is called. I love I think the Hawk, the one that you're talking about, is like a sax. I really like the look of them, and apparently the heat treat and edge is amazing on those knives. I'd love to have him on the show. I got to look him up, Jacob. I have to look up Jacob and invite him on the show. I'd love to talk to him about it. James Hart says, I have been seeing a trend of knife channels I watch. Small fixed blade pocket EDC knives. James, you hit it. That's the one I was going to talk about, and that's what Jeremiah of PVK Vegas, even though they're not in Vegas anymore, it's still part of their name. That's what he said. That was his trend when I asked him the same question. So I have a couple of those knives, and we may as well bust them out right now. Reverend Jim, nice to have you here. Reverend Jim Lander says, hi, go all. Good to have you here, man. So here is the Beckwith Covert in its pocket sheath. That's from Fisher Blades. Here is the Northman by Amtac, kind of very similar style knives with that drop sheath. And then these next two are very similar too. Here's the Armis blades, or Armis knife and tool, I'm sorry, a VSK1. And this thing has this sort of ambidextrous sheath. And I love the way that carries, as do I love the way this carries. This is the Knives by Nuge XL Primitive Wicket. Again, in that sort of ambidextrous sheath. And I think that makes all the difference. Now, all of these sheaths, except for the Tonto sheath, are ambidextrous. This one being a spear point, it fits in both ways. But these two are different, where the sheath sits very low in the pocket, and they're easy to resheath, easier than you might think, because the mouth of these kind of ambidextrous sheaths are right up at the top of the pocket seam where you can see it, easy to drop right in. These are deep in the pocket, so you could really mess up, but all you got to do is put the blade and follow the clip, and it goes right in. You get pretty adept at that. So that is the trend I was thinking of right there. Pocket EDC fixed blades, and yeah, nicely done, sir. James Hart, well done. Or at least that's what I was thinking. An American Father says, Bob, listen to me. From 50-ish to 50-ish, look into testosterone. Okay. You don't have to take a ton. Even a little helps tremendously. All right. I've been hearing this. All right. Interesting. I remember, and well, my mom's not watching. I remember back in the 80s or the 90s, whenever, when she was going through menopause, and men go through andropause, and I suppose that's what I'm doing right now. She got estrogen replacement therapy way back when. So maybe I'll look into that. Thank you. 50-ish to 50-ish. Over under pull. Nice to have you here, sir. Really enjoy your content. Thank you. Well, thank you, Over Under Pull. I bet you didn't show up here expecting to hear me whining about my weight, but I do appreciate that, man. Let's see. Oh, Have a Knife Day says TRT can help you lose weight. I am on it. Sitting at 55 years old myself. It's what you do with it that makes the difference. You have to work out if you take it to get the benefits. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I can't. I go through some fallow stages, but my usual is once a day. Well, 5 times a week, working out in my little basement down here with kettlebells and body weight stuff. And yeah, I think I'm gonna have to look into it because I trust you guys, and yeah, I want to do that. I'll let you know, or I won't. I'll just come on and be like, you'll be like, Bob, why do you look so vital, so bulky and different? And I'll say, well, yeah, it's just, a little extra effort. Mike Hauser, hi, Bob. You got it. Most EDC Pew Pew buyers are all flush with their collections. On the average, the Pew Pew buyers moved to knives and are now stocked up on them, so pent-up demand diminishing. Interesting. Yeah, because you can't always afford to buy a Pew Pew, but you can usually kind of scratch up the money to get a nice knife. Victor Blades, good to have you here, Paisan. Hey, Bob, how are you, buddy? Just got the JW True Blood version. Oh, the Jack Wolf Knives True Blood version of the Vampire Fixed EDC. As usual, fit and finish amazing. It's gorgeous, but I got to tell you, it is tiny. I mean, annoyingly so. Yeah, Victor, I hear you. The whole point of, or I should say, how Ben approaches a fixed blade knife is to make the overall smaller than the overall of a slip joint, so that it fits in the pocket easy and all that. And I get you. I take mine, I drop it in the pocket. I don't even clip it to the pocket, and then using that fob really helps to keep it in hand. But I hear you. It is a little bit small. Doug Bowl says, Bob, in the PD, in the Police Department Academy, we did burpees on knuckles to strengthen wrist and toughen knuckles. That's funny, because for the first number of weeks, I was using my fists because, and with push-ups too, because I jacked up my wrist, and it was really painful to do it any other way than on the knuckles. But lately, I decided I have to start doing it on the hands, otherwise the wrist is never going to get used to it. So yeah, I've always liked doing push-ups on the knuckles, because I had a karate teacher who made us do it that way. But I also just find it stronger, and it looks cooler and feels cooler. James Hart says, I will be getting the Kaiser Hair fixed blade knife. I tried to stop, but I keep getting sucked back in, just like Donnie Brasco. Wasn't that? Hey, you try and quit, and it keeps pulling you back in. Menopause. Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. Donald Fry, evening, Bob, Jim, and fellow junkies. With more concealed firearms being carried, bigger market for knives designed specifically for complementary and backup roles. Yes, indeed, Donald, I would agree with you, and nice to have you here with us tonight, sir. A lot of those are those blade retention knives. I think the first ones we saw were the K-Bar TDI. I mean, the first ones we saw like marketed for that, but lots of other ones now, Pakal style especially. Have a Knife Day says, if I'm not working or at an airport waiting on connecting flights, I am at the gym. And that is evident, sir, when you shake your hand and see your giant bowling ball forearms. Ginger Fisher 75. What would be, first of all, good to have you here, Ginger Fisher. What would be a perfect boot knife? The Kobun makes a good boot knife. Now, here's something people don't usually say. But for me, a boot knife cannot be too expensive, because a boot knife usually does not have this sort of very stout clip on it, because you don't want to mess up the leather on your boot. So oftentimes it has a clip that's a little less than, it requires a little push off with the thumb if you're going to draw it. And it seems like if you're running, jumping, getting into tussles and stuff, you could lose it altogether. So I would say something like the Cold Steel Kobun, which is a boot knife, but also Cold Steel has the Safe Maker. I think that would make a good boot knife. What else non-Cold Steel, guys? Boot knives. I'm having a little. There's that old classic Gerber, but you're not going to go out and buy that without like putting it away, because that's no longer. Because that's kind of an antique at this point. But boot knife. Wait, there's another one that someone help me out with boot knives. But you got to be somewhat careful, like I said, because unless you're making some sort of mechanical connection to your boot, you don't want to mess up your boots, and that means it's a clip that's a little less diggy, if you will. Fred Furbemeyer. Fred Furbemeyer, nice to have you here, Fred. Would like 10 years of youth back, but wouldn't want to trade 10 years of stupid. Yes. I'm with you. I am like almost completely cool with my age. I'm fine with my age. It's kind of what I have done. You know, I'm a somewhat indulgent guy, and that catches up with you. It never did before. I was always, one of those guys who had a pretty high metabolism and eat what I like. And if I gained weight, it took, a couple weeks and it was gone. Victor Blade says, the train right now, I would say, are modern slip joints and tiny fixed blades. Yes, sir. Tiny fixed blades. By the way, I'm a couple of years older than you, Bob. And yeah, I get a little down on the dump sometimes. I got to be active. Yeah. Don't get in the dumps, though. Don't get in the dumps. Yeah, but, what I don't get is enough sleep. That's definitely an issue. I don't get enough sleep. I get up at 5 Monday through Thursday, and I come down here and I do my little exercise. Friday, I'm up late for Thursday Night Knives, so Friday I skip it, and then I try and catch up one day on the weekend. But you cannot catch up with sleep, which is unfortunate. Split and Slices says, maybe TKL knives can include a beef jerky stick with that Tea Aron for customers over 50. Help reduce the moobs. Yeah, you know who does is Fisher Blades. They always put some beef jerky in their packages. Homie Omi, nice to have you here, sir. Hey guy, I won my grail knife on eBay today. What is it? I know I overpaid, but it is what it is. You know, what is it? Let me know what your grail knife is. I can't wait to hear. Angry Tom next door says, wow, burpees. I haven't heard that since the 8th grade. Oh man. Yeah, they're a classic. A classic. I the first burpees I ever did were in martial arts class. We used to have squat thrusts, and that didn't have the push up. It was just down, squat, come back up. Oh, dude, homie Omi, Dark Timber OG Grizzly CPM 3V green micarta leather sheath. Holy mackerel, homie Omi, that's a beautiful one. I was just looking at a video he posted today, and I remember that dude. I can't remember his name now. It escapes me, but what a freaking stud. I was at his table at Blade Show 2 years ago, and I'm like, hey, would you like to come on my show? He's like, sure, man. Big, tall guy. All these boxy knife girls around him, and he was selling these amazing looking Bowie knives. I was like, too cool. And I want one of those knives just so badly. So nicely done, homie Omi. I love it. Have a Knife Day says, all right, off to a line I go. All right, man, conquer that line. They're going to ask for the elite customers and then the golden customers and then the first class customers. But have an awesome knife. And I'll talk to you soon, man. See you at Blade Show, definitely. Oh, we'll talk to you before then. James Hart says, clip on the SafeMaker 1 push dagger would make a good boot knife, but the clip that it comes with is crap. Yeah, same thing with the Coban. It's more like a walkie-talkie clip. Easy on, easy off. Henry Clark says, Cold Steel Drop Forge boot knife. That's right. I forgot they make that. Clark, nice to have you here, sir. Fred says, age is mind over matter. If you don't mind, it don't matter. Yeah, no doubt. That's true. Split and Slices says, Ginger Fisher 75. So I liked the slant that Nick's boot took in 2022 and released a pair of custom boots with a small leather pocket that held a buck 110 folder. That's too cool. That is too cool. I love that. Kevin Santer, nice to have you here, Kevin. Hi, everybody. Hope you all are having a great day. I'm having an awesome day. It got way better since I got home, but I hope you're having a good one too, man. Bobby Rain says 7 to 9 hours sleep is basically like getting on steroids compared to the 4 to 5 that most people get. That's funny. That's funny and depressing because that means if I get up at 5, I have to go to bed at 10 to get 7 hours of sleep. And that's like the dishes are just about done at 10. Everything's fucking late here. Excuse my French. Everything's late here. But one of these days, I'm going to make sleep more of a priority. I actually love it. I love to sleep. I like dreaming. I like sleeping. But I wake up every morning about 5 minutes before my alarm goes off. And it's too annoying. Just too annoying. Like, really? I couldn't get those 5 extra moments. All right. That said, time to get to a pocket check.
What's in his pocket? Let's find out. Here's the Knife Junkie with his pocket check of knives.
Last 2 days, I had this beauty in my pocket. This is the Hinderer XM24 Warncliffe. This is a Gen 3, I guess, before they went with the fancy pants roller bearings and the tri-way pivot and all that. And this is just a good old-fashioned flipper on washers. But it's got that beautiful 4-inch blade, M390 blade steel, Warncliffe, just gorgeous. I love this knife. Even though it's got a pretty thick behind the edge, measurement, and I'm not going to tell you what it is because I don't know, because I don't really care, but it's not as slicey as some knives. It's still sharp as all can be. And this is one of the few knives that I actually like a finger choil on better than not. So I had this in my pocket the last 2 days. I love that thing. and it's been doing me right. Next up, I had the Vampire Fixed EDC from Jack Wolf Knives. We were talking about this before, but this, again, just dropped in the pocket. And the sheath is breaking in nicely, meaning it's maintaining its shape. You don't have to jam this in here. Beautiful full grain leather with the white stitching and the DCC style clip on it. So if you like to clip these to your pocket, you'll be happy with how stout the connection is. Like I said, prefer to drop it in. And there is the knife. I've got the hand rub satin version. Let me get my little cleaning cloth. Hand rub satin version with the rosewood handle scales. And I have some particularly beautiful rosewood handle scales on mine. Rosewood, a wood commonly seen on the fretboards of guitars. And then this has a fob with an anodized titanium little bead on it. I love this little knife. And yeah, it is small. I'm going to agree with Victor. It is small, but I kind of knew what I was getting into going into this one because I have the Midnight Fixed EDC. And I've also talked with Ben about his philosophy but behind the fixed blades, and he wants them to be imminently carryable in the front pocket. And to him, that means shortening it, keeping the blade the same length, but getting the handle as small as possible to get a 3-finger grip, and then maintaining that 4th finger part of the grip with the fob. So love that knife. Grateful to have it. Next up on my waistband today, I had the Gross Motor Gear Mamushi. I am just loving this knife, and I actually carry the mini Mamushi a little bit more than this, but today I needed the horizontal carry to hide this as I was around lots of people today, and this worked out really well. I love this knife. It's fun to grasp, and rip out of the sheath, and it's a fast knife. It's as fast as you are because it's small. But it's not as small as its mini. It's got a little manuki in there, a serpent. That's what a mamushi is. It's a type of poisonous snake. And so you have a little golden mamushi under the Japanese wrap there. Beautiful knife. And then speaking of beautiful knives, I had this with me. I carried it a little bit today in the waistband and then just took it out and kept it close at hand. Of course, that's the Hogtooth Ruffian, my emotional support knife for the day. I love this knife. I've had this since my 51st birthday. So I've had this about 2.5 years. And I really, really love this knife. Hollow ground 154 cm, a beautiful clip point design with that full swedge. But sometimes a full swedge is annoying, but this one leaves you a spot to put your thumb. So it is not an issue at all. Carbon, what do you call that? Canvas micarta and blue G10 liners. There's the Hogtooth logo. Such a great knife. All right, so this is what I had on me today. Tell me what you guys were carrying. Drop it in the comments below as I put these away. The Hogtooth Knives Ruffian. I got the Mamushi from Gross Motor Gear, made by custom knife maker Sean Old. Sorry, I had a little brain fart there. And then, of course, the Fixed EDC by the Vampire Fixed EDC by Jack Wolf Knives, and the Hinderer XM24 Warncliffe, a classic that I love. Ed, what's up? How you doing, sir? Good to have you here with us, Ed. Sean says, Sean Clark, nice to have you here, Sean. Hello, Bob and Junkies. I'm excited to get my fighting Bowie from Bobby Rains. And then the Winkler Hawk will be the next thinking compact. Oh, man. I admire you for getting the Bobby Rains. That's on my short list. I'm getting a custom Bowie when I go to a blade show. It's been on order for a while, and I will get that there. And then I have to get a Rainmaker. Hero Stick says, out the fronts are illegal up here in Seattle. Found a killer little knife shop up here this weekend and got to handle a Microtech Ultratech on the sly. I love it. A speakeasy. Never wanted one before, but damn, now I understand. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I was going to offer you a trade, but I want to keep mine. That's how I am with trades. Ed says, you look so harmless, clean shaven, brother, but we all know you're W badass. Well, thank you, sir, Ed. I appreciate it. Yes. When I shave, my daughters butter up to me and they say, Dad, you look 30. I'm like, you don't even know what 30 looks like, but I'll take it. Thank you. Ouchie EDC says, howdy. Howdy to you, Ouchie EDC. Always a pleasure, man. Adrian Fighter 35 says, my pocket check today is the Cold Steel Formax Scout and the Double Agent 1 serrated edge necker. Very nice. I love that. And the one is with the hawk bill, right? It's the karambit style one. 1931 Leatherworks, always a pleasure, man. Can you hold the Jackwolf knife sheath open end up so I can see the welt? Yes, sir. So it looks like a full thickness welt, if not even thicker than the main walls. All right, hope that did it for you. I think you're gonna probably offer some of these custom sheaths. That'd be awesome. Hero Stick says that Vampire Jack fixie looks amazing. It is. I will say this. I will give my absolute personal opinion. I love the slip joint version, and I love it better. But this is still damn sweet. Damn sweet. Angry Tom's Hat Next Door says, today I carried my Finch Undertaker wood handles, my Spearpoint Hedgehog, oh, that's the new one, right? A gold carbon fiber, and I wore my Hamilton Ventura Elvis 80 automatic. Dude, Angry Tom, I've been looking at watches lately. I come periodically in and out of it. Hamiltons are so nice. I'd love to have a Hamilton. But I feel like the Hamiltons I love the most, are the field watches. And I have a field watch that I love, and I'm kind of looking at something different. I'd like to get a GMT. I'm thinking about a Seiko GMT, but I don't know. I got to give it a couple of weeks. Maybe this urge will wear off, and that's what I'm hoping for. I seem to just really gravitate towards Seikos, and until I can gravitate towards Rolexes and Omegas, Seiko is mine. Seiko is my watch. And plus, growing up as a kid, my dad had Seikos. He was in the Air Force, and he would buy them when he was in Japan and stuff like that. And I've just always loved Seikos. I got one on my wrist right now. It's all busted up, but I still love it. Split and Slices says, Carrie is my Olight O-Knife EDC pouch that has a Maverick Customs pry bar, Olight Otical multi-tool, O-Knife Rubato 2. I like that knife. In Stars and Stripes motif. I know that one pretty well. And the Olight flashlight in SNS motif as well. Stars and Stripes motif as well. Very nice. Doug Bowl says, Bob, I do hang time gripping the horizontal bar. Oh, I've heard of this. 5 inches off the floor after exercising. At 75, really helps with flexibility and cramping. I've also heard it's great for your forearms, for your grip, for all sorts of stuff. That's really cool to know. And it's harder than it seems. I just got a dip bar. I just bought dip bars. And oh my God, I haven't done dips in years. And I forgot I had these muscles in various places. So yeah. It's all about, well, I don't know what it's all about. Trying to be a little bit youthful, I guess. Chris229, nice to have you here, sir. Evening, everyone, he says. Evening to you, sir. I like your angles of attack as usual. Hero Stick says, haven't bought many new knives lately, so been reaching back. Carried the Brian Brown Jaeger. Oh, that's a cool knife. MV1 in brown micarta. Finch model 1929 in crawdad jig bone. I have that very same one. I was just playing with it the other day. And the Swiss Army knife Cadet in red A-locks. Yeah, that's nice. I mean, here's the thing. We all want to acquire new knives, but we shan't forget that we have a lot of really great knives that we were really psyched about when we bought them, that maybe haven't gotten enough attention. So if you're not in a knife buying way, you can always dig back into the archives. And a lot of those knives will feel new because maybe when you got them, you got it and then you moved on to something else pretty quickly. Mike Hauser, Nebraska has concealed carry weapons permits, CCW. And if you have one, you can conceal any style length of knife over 3.5 inches. That's awesome. Thank you, Nebraska lawmakers, because that's not the case everywhere. I know that's not the case in Virginia. And then before we could legally carry automatic knives as of July 21st, 2022, we couldn't carry them even if we had a CCW. Ghost Keeper, nice to have you here, Ghost Keeper. Monterey Bay Knives Wolverine, designed by Ray Laconico, one of the best, and the Kaiser Ultim Towser K. Okay, so the Towser K is one of those square / cleaver style knives that I really, really like. I think I still have mine. It's not Ultim, but it is a beautiful blade. And if you work at it, you might be able to stab it into something. Will B says, Hinderer XM24 Battlefield Pickup, Microtech Amphibian, Spyderco Shaman, Protech TR4, Microtech Hera 2, Riot Exo Bastinelli Red V2. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like very top tier production knives there. Olate Baton 3, Ace Beam TAC 2AA, and the Heretic Thoth pen. Will, as always, super nice carry, man. 1931 Leatherworks says, it's not narrow from center to edge as it's not as narrow from center to edge as expected. Just trying to figure out why people keep stabbing themselves through the welt. Really? With this one? I haven't heard about that. Yeah, I have not had that, and I have not had that issue at all. And I can't really imagine this blade going through this sheath. I mean, unless you really, if you really push it in further than this, you might go through the stitching on one side of the welt. If it's curved enough, mine curves a little bit. But man, I can't imagine that happening without really horsing that thing in there. Paul Mills says, my usual today, mini FSD and American Bladeworks slip joint. Very nice. And always that, I love that. Cat Scratch says, carrying my Strider SNG, a classic, no doubt. Angry Tom's next door says, I also have a watch collection. I have 8 Hamilton watches. Oh, I got to catch up. Kevin Santer says, Grail came in Monday. So all week, it's been a full custom pair 3 with contoured titanium scales and saber ground Magna Cut reblade. That sounds awesome. So shiny and sharp. That sounds beautiful, man. So is that just an entire new blade? It's like an entirely new knife, different blade, different handle. So I guess maybe same liners. King of Knives, nice to have you here, King. Today I was carrying the TKL Adversary, FLN 004, and Raider. So a nice four TKL knives carry with the Hogue K320. K320, I'm not sure I know which one that is. Today, Reverend Jim Lander carried his Benchmade Otto Osborne and his Buck slip joint, nothing else. I do like Buck slip joints. One of my favorites, I haven't used this one in ages, but this is one of my favorites right here. I got it in a 2-pack of slip joints from Buck at Walmart years ago, and I keep the little Solo. It's just a single-bladed knife, but same bone handle. Keep that in my car. And this thing, I got it really nice and sharp, and I love this. I love this knife. Haven't used it in a while though. Hero Sticks, Seiko keeps us safe. Well, I agree. I couldn't agree more. Especially the new GMT I want to get. Craig Vincent says carried M4 8020. Ooh, I mean 8010. Sorry. The Chris Tylite 6. I got my Tylite 6 non-Chris in my pocket. Love this thing. Voyager Tonto Serrated, Engage 3.5, Swift 3, Blacked Out Frenzy 3.5. That's a new one for you and for everyone. But I know you got that 2 weeks ago. Range Boss, that's the one that looks a lot like the Broken Skull, right? PM3, Salt Magna Cut, the Kaiser Militaw, and Contrail, Manganas Purple Steel Kaimano. Awesome. I love that Kaimano. It's beautiful. Sean Low Key, nice to have you here, Sean. Kershaw Iridium, Walmart, very nice. And the Palm MK3 pepper spray. I have one of those in my car, one of those on my desk at work, and one of them in my bag, and then I gave the other 3 to my ladies. So we all have that Palm pepper spray. It looks like a highlighter too, which is I like that. It's no use fighting the aging, says Reverend Jim Lander. Time marches on and drags us along. No doubt about that. I just don't want to become feeble. That's my main thing. You know, there comes a time when you're invisible to beautiful young ladies, and that happened quite some time ago. And you get over that, and then you're like, okay, I just want to like survive for my children, and that's kind of the mode I'm in. I just want to make sure I'm here long, and then I want to have old man strength, you know, and I do. I mean, I'm strong. You know, there's just a little extra, but I just want to make sure I can, you know, destroy my daughter's boyfriends if I have to. Clark Henry says, knives have laws. I know, isn't that ridiculous? No, laws have knives. Doug Bull says, Bob, my last purchase were the Edwin Forrest Bowies. Oh, so cool. But with my tax refund, I'm getting the knife buying itch again. Oh, man. Don't get me started on taxes. The refund thing, like, well, good. Go spend that and get a nice knife, and then let us know what it is. I hate the way the government like just takes your money before you even get it, and then they send it to other countries or spend it on stupid crap. And then if they give you any back, which I haven't gotten a refund in years, you're supposed to be all happy about it. It's like, that's my money. Okay, that's my tax talk. I know you've gotten it a lot recently because it's April. Roman M, nice to have you here, Roman. Hey, guys, he says. Hey to you, man. Hope you're having fun in that dune buggy. Kevin says, I shouldn't have paid, what is it? I should have said Para 3 custom style custom. Oh, okay. I should have said Para 3 style custom. Literally, the only thing still Spyderco is the lock side liner. That's pretty cool, though. You know, it's like a, custom anything. You take something production and make it yours. Eventually, it's just yours. Brojack Horsemail, nice to have you here, sir. Carried my Gross Motor Gear mini Mamushi. Got after watching your interview. Oh, awesome, Brojack. Love that little guy. And Emerson All-American I recently got. That's a cool knife, too. You know me, I love Emerson's. And I haven't gotten any really of the new designs in quite some time. I don't consider that P-Tac a new design, since it's really kind of a re-release of the Persian. Hero Sticks. Bob, curious, your top 3 wish list makers to have on the show we haven't seen yet. I would like to have Rick Hinderer on. I'd love to have Charles Marlowe on, and Tony Marfione, Anthony Marfione. I'd love to have those 3 guys on, and there are others. Those are the first 3 that pop to mind. And I'll tell you why. Rick Hinderer, because he's an Ohio boy, and he's done a lot for the modern folding knife thing, paradigm, or whatever you want to call it. Anthony Marfione, because of the same. I mean, Microtech to me is like one of the coolest companies ever, and I know he started it as a very young man, so I'd love to find out the story there. And then Charles Marlowe, because his folders are my absolute grail folders. I would love to have a Charles Marlowe anything, but a Squale especially. And I've seen one with stag handles. It's just so freaking gorgeous. So yeah, those are the guys right now that come off the top of my head. Oh, it's time. Donald Fry says, carried my Les George Talos. That's a beautiful one. Bradford Guardian 3.5 and case Copperlock. Very nice. That Les George Talos is beautiful. Hero Stick says, Bob, appreciated your sharing about actually carrying that Herman. I struggle carrying my Safe Queens. Thoughts? Well, okay, the reason I struggle to carry, say, that Herman, for instance, is not necessarily because it's a safe queen and I'm worried about its maintaining its value, just more that I'm less drawn or compelled by fancy knives than I am, and this is an expensive knife too, but it's more rugged, and this is a little bit more my style. So I'm less apt to carry the Herman because it's a little less my style. But it was nice to bring to my mother-in-law's birthday dinner, and it's nice for special fancy occasions. And I don't do many fancy occasions, but I would say life is short. Carry your knives, and be judicious about it. You don't want to carry it to the art museum where you have to take it and stuff it in a planter, to hopefully retrieve when you're done. But still, carry your nice knives, because who knows, you could plots tomorrow, heaven forbid, and you're like, why did I have that stupid thing? I never even took it out. So that's kind of my feeling about Safe Queens right now. Like, my Safe Queens are fixed blades, and if I could, I would carry them for sure. I would carry my Randall all the time. I would carry my Hogtooth Sub-Hilt Fighter all the time if I could walk around with a big knife on my belt and not have the society around me crumble. S. Hines, nice to have you here. S. I was going to say Mr. Hines, but I'm pretty sure you're a Mr., but didn't want to be presumptuous. So S. Hines, nice to have you here. I'm about ready to purchase a Medford Knives Tonto Stonewash blade and Stonewash handle Gen 1. Wait, but which one? Is this a what model? Are you talking about a Praetorian? Henry Clark is clapping. Henry, thank you, sir. Mike Hauser says, I am older than I once was and younger than I will be. That's not unusual. That's true. That's true. What's up, everybody, says S. Hines. I'll tell you what's up. Let's do this Gentleman Junkie knife giveaway. What is that knife I see in your avatar? Alex Lewis, nice to have you here, Alex. Are there any old school things coming back to the front of interest? Buck 110, Benchmade 940, Case Trapper, etc. The classic winners of EDC pocket carry. Oh, I don't know if they're coming back in a major way, but they're always a forefront of my mind. I love the classics. I'm a blue jeans and brown boots and white t-shirt kind of guy, and Randall made knives, Buck knives, Case Trappers, as you mentioned. I love them all. And so I think for some of us, those haven't gone away. But as far as trends, I don't know. We'll see. I'm in agreement with, I agree with James Hart that it's that a big one coming, or that will continue and grow from here, are the pocket carried fixed blades. I think people probably always want to carry fixed blades, but never thought they could. Now there are easier ways to carry them, and I think they will become more and more popular. Kevin Sanders says, well, it's hard to show them off when they're locked away at home. Just saying. Yeah, no doubt. Hero Sticks, life is short, carry your knives. Nailed it. New t-shirt. Exactly. Sean Low-Key says, Boker Plus Modern Barlow, Nitro V front flipper. Ooh, that sounds sweet. It is Boker Plus that allowed me to actually have one of those Charles Marlowe knives. They do great collaborations, and Charles Marlowe customs are way, 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 way out of my range. And so this is, the Boker Squale is one way I can get behind the wheel of a Charles Marlowe. S. Hines says, Marauder. Yes, sir. Are you talking about the Cold Steel Marauder, the Bowie? Duh. I got you. The Marauder is the Medford you're getting. Okay. Which one is the Marauder? Oh, the Marauder. Yeah, that's a. I think Hero maybe loaned me that one. Correct me if I'm mistaken, but it's a chunker and it's beautiful. Sean Loki says, pocket carry out of the picture for me. California stinks. Oh, I'm sorry, man. S. Hines, how do I sign up for the giveaway? Okay, so the giveaway tonight is for Gentleman Junkies, and that's a Patreon tier. So our high tier of support on Patreon is tonight's giveaway. But other nights on this show, we do plenty of giveaways. Maybe not as sweet as the Gentleman Junkie knife giveaway, but OG Blade Reviews sends me a lot of knives from his amazing collection, and I give them away here for fun. Those are all access giveaways, and please come every Thursday because he's given me a lot of knives, and I have to give them away. So we will be continuing to do that tonight, though. Just so happens to be a Gentleman Junkie knife giveaway, and that usually happens on the third Thursday of every month. But this third Thursday from in April, I had to cancel the show. So now is the fourth Thursday, and so we're giving it away tonight. And let's do that right now, Jim, shall we? Let's bring up the names of our patrons. So tonight, let's see, I'm going to put this out here so everyone can see. All right, tonight we have Adrian Sanchez, 5-door, Ben Belkin. And by the way, Adrian, thanks for becoming a Gentleman Junkie. Ben Belkin, Billy Ford, Byron Kennedy, Colin Maison-Pierre, Craig Vincent, Donald Fry, Doug Bowl, EDC Gear Guy, Edwin Callow, Gavin Colitis, Jay McConnell, Jammin Parker, Jason, Jeff Hamilton, Jeff Wright, Jesse Tellis, Jock's Knife, JVF, Larry Elizondo, Martin Gamboa, Matthew Lamana. He's also a new Gentleman Junkie. Thank you, sir. Much appreciated. Never Enough Knives 007, Pat D's Nuts, Ronald Reimer, Scott Nelson, Sean Welford, Thomas Butler, V2. Thanks, Dad. Northern Knives, and Will B. All right, let's do this. Thank you guys, one and all. And also thanks to our traditional junkies and tactical junkies. You are also greatly appreciated. Let us now pull up the wheel of destiny and see who will win. And let's roll that thing in 3, 2, and 1. All right. Let's see. Sometimes it makes a noise, other times no. What do you know? It's Jeff Wright. Jeff, congratulations, Jeff. If you're watching, if not, I will get in touch with you. I know he just re-signed up. Jeff had to drop the Patreon for a month because some scumbag stole his credit card number. I hate that. That's happened to me numerous times in my life. And then he just re-signed up. So here you go, man. Here's your reward for becoming a Gentleman Junkie yet again. Or Yatagan, and I will be showing you a Yatagan shortly that I got. But thank you so much. I appreciate you, Jeff Wright, and I'm happy to be sending this out to you. And, if you want to be a part of the Gentleman Junkie knife giveaway, which is always a little bit step above the usual giveaways, do go to Patreon and check it out. You also get interview extras. So every single interview we do, we get an extra kind of off the cuff interview with the knife maker or manufacturer or designer, and offer that as exclusive content to our Patreon members. So Thank you, guys. It's a small token of mine and Jim's appreciation. And we appreciate you guys greatly. So thank you. S. Hines, the Medford knife I was talking about was a Gen 1 Marauder. Oh, very nice. So that, if I'm not mistaken, that is a big old chunker, and I like that. Hero Stick says, Bob, been thinking about an Emerson for a while. The Sheepdog is one that appeals to me, but wasn't on your list. Is it one to avoid? I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. I've had one loaned to me. They just don't appeal to me as much. The Sheepdogs, they're flippers, and I don't know. I don't want a flipper from Emerson. For me, I want a slow roller or a single detent flick out or a waveable knife. But the flipper, I don't need. And the one that I had was a Sheepdog Bowie, and it wasn't mine. It was on loan, and it just seemed a little. Didn't seem as stout to me or something. But two things. First of all, I'm sure in the time since I was borrowing that one Sheepdog, I'm sure they've perfected it. But also, don't go by my judgment. If that's what really appeals to you, get it. And then with something like an Emerson, you'll be able to resell it no problem. But yeah, to me, I like the non-flipper Emersons. Adrian Fighter 35 says, life is short, carry your knives. I've been waiting to carry a larger fixed blade this week just for fun. Now I will. Thanks. I think you should. I think we all should. As a matter of fact, I'm going downtown DC tomorrow. I'm going to carry this with me. Just kidding. I won't. I'll show you that in a second. Doug Bull says, Bob, what's your choice for a small 3-inch blade horizontal belt carry for very close attack self-defense? I don't have it up here on the table, but I would go with a TKL Knives Adversary or a Combatant. That's a great horizontal, about 3-inch carry knife for that. This is also great, but it's a little more expensive, and it's a custom knife. But the Mamushi, this is great. I don't know if you like Pikal. If you don't, he also makes straight bladed daggers that are great, and they're in that same range. So, Doug, I would say a TKL. Or a TKL Adversary or a TKL Combatant. Those things are great for the 3-inch sort of area for horizontal belt carry. Kevin Santer says, have a great night, everyone. I got to pick up the kid from work. Stay sharp. DSFKS. What does that mean? Kevin, help me out. DSFKS. I think I know what that is, and I just can't think of it. But anyway, drive safely, and I'm glad your kid has a job. They're contributing member of society, and we appreciate you, man. Take care, and let's see you next week. Oh, yes, if you want to get a TKL knife, you can do that through our affiliate link, knifejunkie.com/TKL. You save 10%. He gets a sale, and I get a little bump back also. Bob DeMarco is the coupon code, all one word, and I guess in caps. Bob DeMarco. But yeah, that's a great affiliate link. I would try it and use it for sure. But also, Doug, if you're interested in something much less expensive, I would go with a Cold Steel. Either that, what the hell is it called? Cold Steel's got a bunch of. They've got like these. What are they called? The mini roughneck. It's a little knife, full handle, small 3.5-inch blade. You can get it in a dagger, tanto, or clip point. Cold Steel has so many great little knives that you can just put on your belt horizontally, and a lot of them have micro grommets, so you can just use small zip ties, and they make great clips. Check it out. Do something kind for someone. Thank you, Paul Mills. I'm a little too old for that, I guess. Not to do something kind for someone else, but to recognize. Sometimes I work around a lot of people who use a lot of acronyms. Let me put it that way. Alex Lewis says, do future trends always look forward, or do we sometimes reimagine the past? Oh, Yeah, I would say so. I would say we reimagine the past. Okay, Alex Lewis, with your last two comments and with your avatar, tell me what your wheelhouse is for knives. What do you like collecting the best or using the best? Because I'm kind of like you. I like the old stuff. I also have a lot of new stuff, but just in general, I trust the classics, whether it's music or fashion or knives or cars, lots of things. I just kind of trust the old stuff a little more. I have the Cold Steel Kyoto 2 neck knife I often carry when I go fishing. That's one that I was trying to think of. That's a traditional upswept kind of tanto, about a 3.5-inch blade, 7 inches overall. You can get a full grip, but I've seen Daniel from 411 Outdoors. He carries it horizontally on his belt as a little self-defense knife. I would say that's a great choice. Alpha Kenny 1, nice to have you here, Alpha Kenny. Thoughts on best giant folder from Cold Steel? Okay, unfortunately, I don't have them all. I have a very nice giant folder collection from Cold Steel, but I only have 2 out right now. This is a great one. The Tie Light. I have the Chris, but I actually prefer just the regular straight blade. And then I love the Espada series. Here is the fancy one with the shiny bolster and the polished G10. But you can get this with just the straight linerless G10 version for a lot less. They're super strong. This is the 5.5-inch blade. They also have the 7.5-inch blade, which is, if you ask me, maybe a little bit too much to EDC, but I don't know your situation. This one still rides nicely in a pair of jeans or a pair of khaki pants, and prints a little bit because it's somewhat large, but really kind of hides away nicely. It's got the thumb plate, which allows you to wave it out of your pocket. So if you're carrying it for self-defense, I think the wave is hands down probably the best way to have a to open a defensive knife. Clark Henry agrees, the Espada, because you're not fussing around in a moment of tension, in a moment of adrenaline rush to try and manipulate anything small, fine motor kind of skills. You're just pulling it out of the pocket. It's catching on the pocket seam and opening up, and then you have it in hand. I'm a big fan of that. But let's see. I love all of the Voyagers. The Voyager series is great, and I don't have any on the table, but they're all great. Have all of the XL Voyagers, and you can get a Snaggletooth MF pocket catch from Snaggletooth Tactical for $20 that you can put on the blade, and it will do the same thing as this and snag it open for you. I do find the Voyagers a little bit bulky to carry, but they're all great. The Frenzy is great. The one I cannot vouch for is the what's the one that they came out with the Atlas lock? It's a big swashbuckling knife. It is cool. I played with it at Blade Show, but I don't have one, and I've never been compelled to get one, frankly. It'd be cool to have one, but it's too big and bulky. I mean, if you're going to try and carry it all the time. James Hart says, best giant folder from Cold Steel, I'd say, oh yeah, this is a good one too. The Raja 2 folding kukri with 6-inch blade. Yes, the Espada is a great knife. I have the giant one, 7.5 G10 scales. So the Raja 2 is a great kukri blade. It's got the thumb plate to snag on the pocket, to wave it open. I have always found that it's a little bulky and a 7-inch handle, and it's got a clip, a very large clip that's mounted kind of low, so a lot is hanging out. That's my one problem with that knife. But if you like just dropping a big knife in the pocket, and sometimes I do that, because if you drop this about 7-inch long closed blade in your pocket, it's too large to like turn sideways and be uncomfortable in your pocket. It's always going to be somewhat upright, but won't show much off. By the way, This one, the tie light can also be waved open on your pockets. Hope that helps. Craig Vincent says, Bob, the Cold Steel Spirit Survival is a sheathed double. What is this? Have I missed this? What's this? Cold Steel Spirit Survival is a sheathed double-edged knife that can be readily attached to the standard household broom handle. Instantly transforming it into a standoff weapon. Yes, I love that. Okay, so they used to have a long double-edged blade with a kind of a double guard a long time ago, and I thought that's what you were talking about. James Hart says, I don't use the clip. I just drop it into the pocket and no one sees it. Yeah. All of these big cold steels are good for that, I would say. And it doesn't really, the Mayhem, that's the one I was thinking of. The Mayhem, let's see. Okay, so Split and Slices says, my 3 large cold steel folders, the 5 Max, the Mayhem, and the 6-inch holdout. That's a great one too. Too big to EDC always brings a smile grin. Pardon me, that 6-inch holdout, you can EDC. It's pretty thin and pretty flat. It doesn't have a guard. It's sort of their large version of a folding ski and do, but it does not have a guard. It does have a finger choil, and it does have lightning holes in the side, which kind of give you a good place. But Craig Vincent says, Bob, the Mayhem is surprisingly easy to carry. Interesting. Are you trying to tell me I should get one? Maybe I'll get one. Alex Lewis, the old school inspired me growing up, but I also watched science fiction and Star Wars. Pardon me. In my real life, I carry my dad's old buck trapper. Sweet. But my center console of my truck has a Cold Steel XL Voyager. Good man. Got to have one of those close at hand. So on the question of, and I like that you carry your dad's buck trapper. That's cool. But on the question of large cold steels, the most economical way to explore it is through the Voyager series. And they have the most blade styles. I think they have 6 blade styles. Let's see. The Vaquero, the Bowie, the Tonto, the Drop Point, the Chris, and then serrated versions of some of those, like the Vaquero and the like the Vaquero and the Tonto. They used to have serrated versions of the Bowie. They don't anymore, and I think that's at 5. But that's a great way to go. And by the way, I love, if we're still talking about XL cold steels, I love the Vaquero blade design. I don't have my Vaquero Voyager out here, but this is the Vaquero blade. This is a Desperado, and it's a fixed blade, out of print fixed blade. I am roasting. I got to take this thing off. But you can get a big 5.5-inch folder with that same blade, and it is awesome. Split and Slices says, Bob, Mayhem Blackout on clearance at Midway now. No pressure. Shit. All right. Maybe I have to do that. Craig Vincent, XL Drop Point is a good starting point for large cold steel holders, very versatile. And that's also the only one that's not a full flat grind. That one has a saber grind to it. So a flat grind going halfway up the blade. Recon 1 forever in my heart. Yeah, you know what? The Recon 1, they're releasing that in the this year. They re-released the Recon 1 XL, so that's 5.5-inch Recon 1, and it's a clip point, and that's an XHP steel, which is pretty cool because mostly XHP steel has gone away for them. I got to show you some cool knives. Let me show you this before I gab the night away. Check out what Jammin' Parker gave me. He just gave this to me. Yes, that's right. It's a Gideon V3. He had 2 of them, didn't need this one, and sent it to me. And man alive, am I so grateful. This is beautiful. This is a co-design with Frogman Tactical. Again, you know, I showed you the FMF And he has one, the Taylor's Ridge, I believe, is also his. Correct me if I'm wrong. But a great knife. It's kind of handle-wise, it's a lot like the Night Stalker, except you can see it's got that protruding spike, which I gotta say is a little menacing. I have gouged my forearm accidentally on that a few times, and I know some people grind them down because it's pretty acute. But I'm going to leave mine just for good measure. It does preclude you, though, from doing all the flippy karambit stuff. It does absolutely get in the way of that. But a great upswept blade, but the center, the point still stays center line. And you've got a nice double-edged version or double-edged portion up here. This wedge is 0 ground and nasty as can be. So, Jammin', thank you so much. You're a gentleman and a scholar. I love this knife. I really appreciate it, and it's been getting a lot of carry. This is the DCC clip he included on it, which was unnecessary, but much appreciated. So, yeah, been carrying this one a lot. And also it's been riding in my bag a bit. But this has been kind of an at-home, sweatpants or pajama knife, and it's been nice. But yeah, don't do too much flipping with this because you will cut your finger up on that spike. That spike, by the way, easily goes through an aluminum can. I guess that's not much of a test, but you could really do some damage with that spike. So I'm going to leave it there. Mike Hauser, very nice gift. Yeah, I'd say very, very nice gift. Jammin says, Bob, I found an old Cold Steel Laredo in carbon steel. Funny you should say that, with an awesome patina and a leather sheath. Had to scoop it up. Yes, sir, you did, because this is like the best of Cold Steel. I have the same one, carbon steel. I patinaed that a long time ago to cover up the scratches from the awesome leather sheath. Of course, they don't make these anymore like this. You lucked out, Jammin'. Nicely done. I'm glad I brought mine down tonight just so I could illustrate. Alex Lewis says, great looking ring knife. Yes, indeed. And if you like it, Alex, but don't want the spike, check out the Night Stalker. It's very similar, by the same company, but no spike on the tip there, and a slightly different shaped blade. King of Knives. No, the Taylor's Ridge isn't with Frogman. So that one is with Outer. Eric Outer designed the Taylor's Ridge. So which is there's a third one kind of similar to the Taylor's Ridge from Frogman Tactical, and I can't remember the name. But it's of the three that he did with them, it's the least appealing to me because it's the least combative. But oh yeah, this knife is so great. This is my closet knife. So the closet where I keep my clothes, this is right up under my jeans with the handle just peeking out, just in case I'm getting dressed and some sucker steps to me. But oh God, I love this knife. So this knife, a cool story about this, when Lynn Thompson was designing this, he sent a prototype to Bill Bagwell to check out. And Bill Bagwell was apparently a big dude, knew how to knife fight, and obviously made the Hell's Bells and a bunch of other fighting Bowies, and gave this his sort of seal of approval. Though I think he bristled a little bit at the smaller guard. You know, Bill Bagwell's guards were quite generous. And I think that was one part of this design that he was like, well, I guess for a production knife, you got to go that way, but I'd make a bigger guard. But I love this knife. 0 ground swedge for snap cuts and back cuts and all that kind of thing. Great knife. And then the sheath. You cannot beat the sheath. I wish Cold Steel would go back to this for some of their knives. Their Bowies, chief among them. Nice snag, Jammin'. Craig Vincent, Bob, do you have any Ontario fixies? I have an RTAC 2. An RTAC 2. Not here, though. I mean, it's over in my case. And what I really want is the Hell's Bells. Yeah, I think that's it for the Ontarios. Pardon me. James Hart says, the other thing I like about the Raja 2 is the blade is just a tad thicker than even the Espada. So it's very durable. Yeah, and it's fully flat ground too. So it's the shearing power on that knife is insane. Ed says, surprisingly, the only cold steel I own is the Mini Tough Light. Really? I mean, that's a great knife, but I've always thought the Recon 1 looked badass, but the 8020 is my big badass knife base, has my big badass knife bases covered. Yes, the 8020 is a great knife, but the Recon 1, is, well, I mean, all three of them, but definitely the Tonto and definitely the Clip Point are a little bit more tactical than, say, the 8020. 8020 is like a big bad, do everything knife, whereas the Recon series, they're a little bit more tactical. Steve, how you doing? Steven Roberts, what's up, all? Coming late to the party, but always happy to hang out with you all. Well, it's good to have you here, man. It's always a pleasure. Alex Lewis, we'll be hanging at the pool soon. Alex Lewis says, new trend seems to come so quickly that I sometimes wonder if we have enough time to enjoy the current gems. That's a good point. And that's why it's always good to, when you're going through a fallow stage of knife buying, to reflect upon all that you've gotten in the past. Carry the Luck Knives Mini Squall right now. I don't think I know what that is. I know I've heard of Luck Knives. All right, let me show off a couple of other knives because I don't want to run out of time and not have shown these. Here is the Apoch Survival Demko Bowie. So this is a Bowie designed by Andrew Demko. Hero Stick says, oh, sorry. Yeah, so this, by the way, got a workout this past weekend, cleaning up. We had a big Easter party here, lots of family and some friends, and my sister came in from out of town, et cetera, et cetera. And I had to do some vine clearing, some other stuff just to make the place look more than just cut lawn presentable. And this is what I used, and it's awesome. It's a big piece of D2, sort of blasted, I think. I can't tell what the finish is. But Apoch is a Cas Iberia company, and these knives are so cool. They sent me this one. They sent me 3 knives. I'm about to show them all, but beautifully ground and super sharp D2, designed by Andrew Demko. You got the contoured G10 handle scales, jimping on the pommel. A nice long handle on this one. I have medium-sized hands. I can come up here. I can come all the way back down here. And this is kind of how I was using the knife a lot for swinging, chopping. Had some stubborn cedar branches I had to hew. And then I took the Tech Lock style lock and put it at an angle here and kind of carried this on my back. And I just had to reach back and grab it. Or if it was on my side, just in a sort of a, what do you call it? Cavalry grip, just kind of draw the knife out that way. Really, really nice knife. I'm going to put the sheath aside and show it to you with another knife they sent me. This is the Wallace Bowie. So Mike Wallace, who has worked with Cold Steel and with Andrew Demko, this is his Bowie. Now, I showed you his Smatch It a couple of weeks ago. This one I had to buy when I saw Scab's video of this, but this is also a Wallace design. Check out this Bowie, though. Look at that thing. 9.5 inches, also D2, fully flat ground, and neither of these have swedges. So great for outdoor use if you like batoning, or if you're grabbing the knife by the handle like this to do draw cuts or something. You don't have to worry about a sharpened swedge. Incredibly comfortable and ergonomic handle, contoured G10, and everything is kind of radiused. Like this finger choil up here is nicely rounded off and just feels great in hand. This one I have not used yet, but I plan on it. Got a bird's beak back here. Very, very comfortable knife. And these are all very reasonably priced. I think that this is the most expensive of the lot, and it was like $125. These are, I believe, under 100, and they are outstanding. And both of them have, or all three of them have, really excellent Kydex sheaths. The two Bowies ship with the Tech Lock style clip. The other one, the Smatchet, has a drop loop. All right, so the last one they sent me is ridiculous, and I just told them that I thought it was cool. I didn't expect them to send it to me, but they did. And it is a Yatagan. And you know, I talk about the Yatagan a lot. It's the Turkish knife, Turkish short sword, and this is sort of a survival / combative modern Yatagan. So let me show it under here. This is in 9260 steel, I believe it is. I wrote it down. I wrote it down somewhere the other day. Yes, 9260 blade steel, which is a high carbon steel. And let me wipe off the schmutz off the blade. It is wicked. So you've got classic Yatagan shape. So it's a recurve, a delicate recurve with a center line point. I think this is not the right place to show this. G10 handle scales. Let me show it over here where I have a little more room. You can see that recurve. It's a not too drastic, but this is the knife that inspired the Vaquero series. So you've got a center line point, but you still have that shearing power from the recurve. And then here you have a really nice handle with the bird's beak. It's kind of squared off. It's never going to turn in your hand if you hit something really hard. It's not gonna turn in the hand because it's not rounded. A really, really beautiful, wickedly sharp. These are all stupid sharp. And then this one has a really cool sheath that has a G10 collar to it that you can attach any sort of clip to. But I just am leaving this on the way it shipped. I think it looks cool. And if I really need to put it on my belt, I can lace it through here. I don't need to put like a tech lock on it. But this thing is so cool. Check out Apoch. I'm going to have one of the gentlemen from Apoch on the show in a couple of weeks, and we're going to talk all about it. A Cas Iberia company and making modern day combative swords and great fixed blade knives, and I love them. I'm a big fan, and I already have 3 of them they sent me, so I'm very grateful for that. Hero Stick says, speaking of reaching back into the collection, flipping my TRM Atom and reminded of how great this knife is. Will be a summer carry for sure. That's a great summer carry knife. It's so light, so thin, and extremely capable. King of Knives says, Eric Outer did the Accomplice. Frogman did the Gideon 1, 2, and 3, which are Night Stalker CQC, the V3, the FMF, the Taylor's Ridge is what I'm thinking. Is pretty similar to the Raider. That's what it is, right? Very broad blade that Tim... Hang on. I'm going to reread this. Eric Outer did the Accomplice, period. Frogman did the Gideon V1, V2, and V3. And the FMF and the Taylor's Ridge, pretty similar to the Raider. Wait, so is it the... Okay. Oh, okay. And the Raider, it has a very broad blade that Tim did that. Okay, I got you. So the Taylor's Ridge is his, right? Sorry, King of Knives. I don't know why I'm not able to read this right now. Maybe it's because it's late. But yeah, Taylor's Ridge, I think, is his. Correct me if I'm wrong. You're like, I just did. All right, Paul Mills, I'd love to get an 80-20 and get a Transparent Knives reblade for it someday. Yeah, no kidding. His reblades are just beautiful. Doug Bull says, Bob, after doing quick research, my choice will be the T-Kel Warthog. That is a cool one, and I think they just did a drop of those. Maybe a while for delivery, but very great design for my purposes. Yeah, that's a beautiful knife, and I know with that Warthog, with the handle. You can buy aftermarket handle scales from him that extend that handle a little bit, if that's your thing. Craig Vincent says, Bob, I went to Apoch's website after I watched your vid. That Demco Bowie is very reasonably priced. I suddenly sense a growth spurt in my Bowie collection. It's a very, very healthy thing, Craig. Let it spurt. let that Bowie collection grow. Just do it. David Helka, nice to have you here, David. And I like the knives in your avatar, sir. The Smatchet is cool. I wish they still made the Boker folding Smatchet. Oh, they don't make it anymore, huh? That was designed by Chuck Gadratis, who's, man, he's awesome. I bet you could still find that. I'm betting you could still find that. I have one in wood, and that was a gift from Dave of OG Blade Reviews, which I've really cherish. I love that thing. Ron Dobbins. Hello, everyone. Ron, great to have you here, man. What are you carrying? Let us know, Ron. Drop it in the comments below. Ed says, Mike Donnelly at Level Up Customs. Oh, okay. LUC. Knives. He used to have a knife channel called, Knife Sergeant. Mike Donnelly. That's, oh my God. Yes. Makes the Squall and the Mini Squall. Yes. I know Mike. And he comes on this show quite a bit and chats in the chat. He's also been on the Knife Junkie podcast, and his stuff is awesome. Luck, I don't know why Luck Knives didn't register with me. Clark Henry says, that Smatchet's growing on me. Yeah, it is a cool one. Mike Hauser, Grandma put some Easter eggs in the pooper scooper. Any idea of the pain felt in taking an Easter egg away from an excited child? That will leave a mark. Yatagan may help with the pain, though. Mike, that's a weird story, and I like it. And I think you deserve a Yatagan for that very reason, that you had to endure such a thing. Orbital Knives, nice to have you here, Orbital. Hello, everyone, he says. Well, hello to you. Orbital Knives. All right, I'm going to have to remember. King of Knives, I guess I should get better punctuation. My fault. Don't worry about the punctuation. I'm not an English teacher. I'm just a tired old man trying to read comments. Alex Lewis says, I wonder if small hatchets on belts will ever become something okay again for EDC. Maybe after the fall. I really would love my job being okay with that. Me too. I work in maintenance at a summer camp. Well, that should be, Alex, I think you get to make that rule. Because especially I think you can start doing that. And when people call attention to it, what? Like, I work maintenance at this summer camp. Of course I have a hatchet. Where's your hatchet? Oh no, you don't have one because you're going to borrow mine. Get your own damn hatchet. I think you're well justified in doing that. Jammin Parker says, looking to get a breaching style tomahawk for emergency use in my truck. Any recommendations? I've been looking at RMJ and Winkler, but are quite expensive. I would say the RMJ is the first one that comes to mind because I know that's what they're for. The Winklers, I think they're more combative. I mean, not that you wouldn't use the RMJ for combat purposes, but I feel like the Winklers are more like fighting tomahawks. I know they're stout and they're full tang and they're a little bit heavy, but I know that the RMJs are for like smashing up concrete and breaking open doors and stuff like that. So, I mean, for that job, you definitely want full tang. Okay, I need people to chime in here. What should he get? And I would also look at some smaller makers. Because I feel like I see a lot of full tang tomahawks out there, but I just can't quite think of what they are right now. Terminator Joe says, late to the party. How's everyone doing? Terminator, we're doing great. How you doing, man? Let us know what you are carrying today. We got about 15 minutes left in this here broadcast, and I want to find out. Little intro. I am Eddie. This is from Orbital Knives. Little intro. I am Eddie, and we are a new knife company, but I'm here just for fun, not marketing. Awesome. Okay, Orbital, I'm gonna have to check you out. Eddie, I'm sorry. Let me write this down. I'm gonna have to check you out, but I feel like I've heard of Orbital Knives. But it's good you're here for fun. Glad to have you here. Orbital Knives. Let us know. I know you're not here to market, but let us know what kind of knives you make. I'm sure we all want to know. Doug Bolt, what are you doing, man? $25. Thank you. Holy crap. Bob, thanks for the info. I mean, Doug, my pleasure. But I give it for free. But I mean, geez, man, thank you. I appreciate that. Let me see. I got to salute you with something, maybe something you haven't seen tonight. I've shown off a lot tonight. All right. Let me salute you with this beauty. You've seen this a bunch recently, but I can't stop. I can't stop doing Carenza with it. Shadow boxing with a knife. This thing, the 12-inch Tonto, Magnum Tonto from Cold Steel is amazing. This thing is amazing. It's so light. It's so perfectly balanced. Oh my God, I love this thing. One of the best moving knives I've ever had. And I can't really do it right here at the desk, but you can do redondos, you can do back cuts, you can do snap cuts, you can do all sorts of stuff with this knife, and it just feels so natural. Doug, thank you so much for that $25 super comment. What's it called? I really appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. You've done so much already, and you're a patron. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you, sir. There's your slow drive-by. Look at that. What a great knife. And what a great dude. Thank you so much, Doug. I appreciate you, man. Craig Vincent says, Bob, I've been back and forth with getting the RTAC or the Hungless. Any thoughts? See, I have the RTAC. I thought that the Hungless I thought that the RTAC gave way to the Hungless. I thought that the RTAC went away and the Hungless started. Hungless is SE, RTAC is Ontario, I guess, knife and tool, which is no longer extant. I guess I'd go with the Hungless. Go with the Hungless. I love the RTAC, but SE Knives is still around. And if you have warranty issues or anything like that, you might have to do that. Wait, Ontario. Wait, what am I thinking? Yeah, I'm right. Sorry, anyway, I guess I would say the Hungless, but now I'm who's Rowan, the company that makes the SE knives. I would go with that. Clark Henry says, if I worked maintenance at a summer camp, I'd wear a hockey mask. Yes, indeed, and carry a machete. Ira Hayes, Cold Steel Trench Hawk. But Ira, the Trench Hawk, it doesn't have the replaceable heads. Those are cool. I feel like those are fighting tomahawks. I don't know if they're breaching tomahawks. I think you want a full slab of metal, like all the way down. I feel like. Paul Mills says, Orbital Knives. I'll have to check out some of your knives. Are you on Instagram? Craig Vincent says, ditto with Ira Hayes, Cold Steel Trench Hawk. Really? For like cutting your way out of a truck? Oh, yes. The Estwing Carpenters. Look at this. This thing is awesome. This is an Estwing. Carpenter's hatchet, 13 inches long. Full metal handle would be a great belt axe and carry it at a summer camp. All right, so this is a larger version of that. But it's a full tang, and I love this thing. This was a gift from my friend Kurt years ago. I wish I had that 12-inch Tonto. If wishes were horses, beggars would ride. Go buy one, man. Look at this. This thing is awesome. It's got a hammer pole on the back. It's a full. This is a pretty nice thing. And imagine, he said 13 inches. That's about this without the handle. So imagine this handle moved up here, and that's about what you're talking about. That's a good idea, the Estwing. And then I think they also make some models with stacked leather. Oh, that's sharp. Also has a guard. Terminator Joe, or a sheath. Terminator Joe says, going to buy a new knife, but I'm carrying a cold steel cinquedilla. You're carrying one? Awesome. I've got mine over there. It's one of my favorite knife designs from history, period. I went down to price I wanted. Plus, I'm carrying 2 Espadas and 2 Mayhem. Are you wearing the mask too, Terminator? I mean, from this carry, you should be. The cinquedilla, I've seen a number of historical examples at the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York. They have like 5 or 6 or something, or at least when I lived there. And then at the Cleveland Art Museum, they had some. And they're just so cool. They're so beautiful. They're big. And ironically, or maybe not so ironically, they are shaped like pizza, like a slice of pizza. And they're Italian, I know. And 15th century sidearm. I just think they're so beautiful. And the handles on some of those are gorgeous. I think that's a top. It's like a super classy choice of carry, but large. I'm also, admire the fact that you're carrying that around. Todd Carr, Craig Vincent, my vote on the hung list, much better QC and lifetime warranty. Okay. Todd Carr, he knows what he's talking about too. Clark Henry says, Hungless has better balance and nicer handles. All right. My RTAC has nice handles, but they're big. They're like blocky. Orbital Knife says, thank you. We started in the folder world, but moving slowly into fixed blades. Oh, yes. We made a collaboration with Forged in Fire, Brandon Williams. We have the Callisto, and the Fornax now, both folders. Fornax, I feel like I've heard of that. Cool, Orbital. Well, I'm glad you're here, and I'm definitely going to check you out. Check out your work. Terminator Joe says, also my Kukri house, right? Knives are coming Monday. Should I do an unboxing video? Yes, of course you should. Of course you should. You're getting some of the Donnie B All Day design knives, right? Todd Carr, for breaching, you'd want a fireman's axe. Oh, yeah. Tip be able to get through anything. Yeah, but here's the thing. If you're in your truck, you have no room for a fireman's axe. You do need a hatchet from it, right? Is that for getting out of the truck, or is it just to have in the truck? Because, yeah, a fireman's axe would be awesome. All you got to do is go to a building that has one and steal it. James Hart says, of course, I'm joking. James Hart says the carpenter's hatchet also has an actual hammer and a slot for pulling nails. Oh, that's cool. That's a good idea. Split and Slices. I have several Est wings. Love them. Usually 50% off during Christmas holidays at key locations. I love the ones with the stacked leather. Beautiful. Favorite fixed blade under $100. In what category? Geez, man, that's a hard one. Here's one that you can't go wrong with, and I know you guys are tired of hearing of cold steel, but the SRK is under $100, and that is just a stellar all-around fixed blade knife. But I mean, there are so many of them. If you want to go way below, you could go with the Mora Companion. You could go with a K-bar, any K-bar. I love the Dog's Head. I just got the Dog's Head K-bar. That was under $100, right? I think it was under $100, but I know that there are some K-bars just shy of that. Numerous cold steels are under $100. Man, Orbital, God, you're killing me. That's a hell of a question. Like almost all of the off-grid fixed blades that I love are under $100, and they have like camping, they have tactical, including the one we just gave away tonight. This is a small one, but they make a larger version of this knife with a different handle. Called the Backcountry. That's a great knife, definitely under $100. And then there are a lot that are just over $100 that are great too. Looking around the table here. Now this was under $100, I believe. Great knife. Paul Mills, Orbital Knives. The Kaiser Deckhand, a pretty nice for the money. I think they're $60. Yeah, Kaiser has some cool fixed blade knives, though I don't know how they work with discontinuation and stuff. Craig Vincent, I've seen some reviews comparing the Trench Hawk to the War Hawk. The consensus is that the Trench Hawk is better for breaching, destroying all manner of carnage for $40. Oh, shit. I got to get one. Estwing makes hatchets with stacked leather handles, says Todd Carr, especially hatchets for construction, like a roofing hatchet with blue handle, along with camping axes with blue handles. Awesome. I like the Estwings, yeah. Hero Stick says, I say it every time, but hands down, this is the best live knife show of the week. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Bob, Jim, and thanks, Bob, Jim, and all you fine folks. Hero, thank you, man. You just put wind in my sails. I appreciate that. Ditto Hero says split and slices. Thank you, Byron. Appreciate that. Terminator Joe, no, I don't wear the mask. It's a Mortal Kombat smoke mask I wore during the beer bug times. Yeah, those times. You scared the hell out of everyone while they were scared. I like your style. Todd Carr says Cold Steel SRK and 3V for less than $100 at Midway, and the SK5 version is 25 freaking bucks. Ridiculous for that knife. And SK5 is a fine steel. You know, I don't know what you're doing with your knives, but SK5 has worked fine for me many a time, and all I pretty much do is carve wood and split wood with it. Scott says, I'm pretty happy. Scott, good to have you here, man. I love that helmet. I'm pretty happy with my Emerson CQC Tomahawk for a short and tough unit. Yeah, that's going to cost you a pretty penny for sure, but that is a sweet Tomahawk. Craig Vincent says, Estwings are great, but they're prone to bouncing back when you fail to stick them. Wonder why that is. Maybe all the metal. Ira Hayes says, the Trench Hawk handle seems to be pretty bomb-proof. Seems hard to beat for the price. All right, Ira, you and several others have convinced me I think I need to get a Trench Hawk. I'll consider it research. Yeah, I should probably have one. Put it in my car. Though I do have a Schrade in my car. That's a pretty awesome one too. But it's a Spike Hawk, and the Spike Hawk can be dangerous for utility purposes. You know, it's meant to be dangerous. So you might not want that one bouncing back at you. James Hart, well, I'm off. See you next week. James, thank you so much, man. Always a pleasure. Thanks for the conversation, and thanks for your good ideas. Greatly appreciated, as always. Have a great weekend and a great week. See you later, man. That's going to do it for us shortly. Doug Bull says, Bob, stay safe. Doug, you too, man. And thanks for the hanging advice. That's something we can all do, but it you know, it's a lot tougher than it looks, and it adds to longevity. So thank you, man. I appreciate that. Alex Lewis, is the future of EDC knives not replaceable blade utility knives? Nah. No, because of the sole. You know, they lack sole. They're cool, and there are a lot of uses for them, and a lot of cool companies make cool versions of replaceable bladed knives, but there's no sole, so people will not love them that much. Mike Hauser, thank you, man. Thank you, Orbital Knives. Terminator Joe, thank you, sir. Great to have you here. Trench Hawk has a spike too. Beware. Well, I like a spike. I don't need it. I don't need it as an escape thing. I need it for all the brawls I get in, you know, the melees and such. Thank you, Ira. Appreciate you, man. Coming on Sunday, episode 590. Can you believe that? 590 with Jeremiah Burbank, owner of PVK, a really high-end, great knife store. They sell some pedestrian stuff too, but man, they're known for their high-end automatics and bally songs and cool fixed blades and a real partnership with Microtech. They are awesome. Jeremiah is great. I was on his show Bladeology last month. What a dude, what a mensch, and what an inventory over at PVK. Highly recommend you go check them out. I think I will be buying a 6-inch bladed Frank Beltram from over there. Automatic stiletto. All right. That said, for Jim working his magic behind the switcher, I'm Bob DeMarco saying until next time, don't take dull for an answer.